Roman, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I know you're doing some really interesting things in the crypto gaming space, as well as the AI space and the NFT space. And I know that this is going to be an exciting one for the people. So, for those who aren't familiar with your story, I would love to hear how you got to where you are. And then, I want to talk a little bit about your projects and then talk about the metaverse as a whole. But to kick us off, I'd love to hear, what is your story?
Okay, so thanks, Ben, for having me. It's a great pleasure to be a part of this podcast and a great opportunity for us as a fresh, engine starter company to tell about our story, how we get here. And well, it actually started a couple of years ago when we joined, it's sort of accelerates program for startups. And we started as an AI company, and we were developing an app for the impaired people, like the people deaf, people who can't speak vocal languages. That's a problem. Like we have loads of kind of translators everywhere, like Google Translate and so on. So there's no problem to communicate. But when it comes to deaf people, you don't have that. And we wanted to solve that problem. It turned out a huge problem that's not that easy to solve. We made an application, and but it's still the development goes on. Like even Google doesn't have the answer for that. So this is a big, huge problem. We are still trying to solve, and it's quite like it's very time consuming both, and you need a lot of people and a lot of bright minds. So we moved on to later on. We moved on to NFT space, because a blockchain is what inspires me, and it is because that gives freedom to the people as a people's currency, decentralized banks and finances, and first of all gaming, because I'm a gamer inside. Like I've been to pretty much to game developing since I was a kid. So I was developing the paper versions of tabletop games and so on and so on. Back then, and I'm 37 now. Back then, when I was a kid, there were no computers or the phones were not so. you just had none. So we usually played in tabletop games and stuff where you have the dice and you have a game master and all of that. So that's where the story began. And when I realized that using NFTs and blockchain, we can create the same games, but with the property, when the player is really the owner of the assets, and that's the move towards giving it to the people, and that's what I like about it. So that's why we started. Yeah, so maybe that answers your questions, just to be brief, and then you can ask me more detailed questions if you're interested. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like a lot of people that have been gamers their whole lives, when we come across NFTs and crypto gaming, even if it's by accident at first,
Yeah.
we're the ones that get it, because we've been gaming for so long. Like we know the power of gaming, the power of community, and to be able to see the implications of ownership of your digital assets within the game, we've been grinding out for years.
Yes.
So now we see the reward. We can get rewarded for grinding out. It's like, so it's so interesting to me. It feels like really the world is going to start revolving around gamers very soon.
Absolutely. Yes, it will. And it's why, because the younger generation, like me and you, and people younger than me and you, what they get that they don't like TV much, and TV shows and all that stuff, because it's too centralized and too government controlled and all of that. And government, let's be fair, they're not doing the best job ever right now. And people don't trust them much. And we don't have that. The ratings, they tell more than I don't have to tell you the story. Everyone knows it for himself. So the goal is to make something which people can really control. And the big companies, they're like big gaming companies, they actually own your account. So when you play the game, if, for example, I'm playing World of Warcraft since it was created back in 2004, and then okay, but I have more than 400 mounts and stuff. I don't own them. Even if I bought some, yeah. So I still don't own them, and I can sell them. And if I sell it, that's a felony, okay? They can ban you for that. That's something incredible. So you feel yourself like, I've been slaving for 17 years, okay? 17 damn years. See, I don't like that. That's not an attitude. Like, and when, okay, maybe some young gamers are just joining the games and say, oh, this is wonderful, World of Warcraft, it's so big, it's so amazing. All right, it is, but you're still a slave.
That's right.
And we, of course, can change that a lot, like, because we're a small company, okay? We're a small company, we can't create World of Warcraft for you, or we can create a small, real, decentralized economy, which will inspire other companies, bigger ones, to follow in our steps, like to see, okay, this is what's, like, why do we have microtransactions if we can have NFT, for example? Just this thought would be enough, just this. And I see you, I think Ubisoft doing that. Months ago, they tweeted, we're gonna be leaders. And that's pretty, make sure, because they are leaders in microtransaction and all of the things. So they embracing it already. So we can see pretty, I would say in 2 years from now, we're going to see something big with NFT. Like in 2 years, going to be something Assassin's Creed with NFTs. And that's going to be huge. But until that happens, we still can set, the floor for how it has to be. Because if the big companies set the floor, okay, let's be fair, there's a huge space for manipulations for them. They're big, they're huge, they have the trust already. That will be easy for them. That's why we have to build the communities to really educate them on what NFTs are. Why do you, as a gamer, why you should be interested? And for example, why banning NFT games from Steam is bad for the gaming as overall, and for example, why you should support Discord introducing cryptocurrency in Discord, and why it is good, and then why it's not bad, and why NFTs are not a Ponzi schemes but a property. You're not calling them real estate a Ponzi scheme. But the real thing is, if you play in the game for 17 years, like I am playing the World of Warcraft, and you owning nothing, that's a Ponzi scheme.
Right. That's the biggest crime, really.
Yes.
So from your history of building an AI company, then moving into more of like the NFT gaming and crypto space, first of all, I think there's going to be a huge intersection of when AI meets and like really like AI, NFTs, crypto, and gaming. Like this, the central, that's like a a target like that, and right in the center, that's going to be the most powerful, I think.
Yeah, I also think so.
So how did you make that transition though? Are you trying to bring AI into NFTs and crypto gaming, or like, how did you make that migration and shift over? And maybe tell us a little bit about what you're focusing on specifically now.
Okay, so when we founded the company, the goal was to focus on the forward technologies, and there were only two of those. It was because I've started like working with AI back when it was AI winter, and it wasn't popular at all. Like it was like, hey, what is AI? This is just mathematical statistics and nerd stuff you don't want to like mess with. But then the people like Jeffrey Hinton and Andrew Yan and those ambassadors, huge ambassadors of AI and computer vision, they did a huge job there. And Jan LeCun from the Toronto Young University, they were fantastic people. And I've been studying their courses for years prior to when that all became popular. So for us, it was like oh, this is happening. This is the moment. And the same goes for the blockchain. We adopters of the blockchain technology back when the Bitcoin was like one and only, and we were always following that and watching that. And as soon as it touched the gaming, I said, okay, I'm not in the finance and stuff, but when it comes to gaming, that's my play here. And then we said, okay, we're going to do that as well. Especially now when people are sitting on lockdowns and have nothing to do, they can play games and they can earn, and that would mean a lot, especially for those communities where people don't have a lot of access to their finances and stuff, but they have computers. and you not necessarily have to mine cryptocurrency to make money in that space. If you're a gamer, okay, we know that the scalpers are buying those GPUs, selling them for huge money, and you have to pay insane prices. And let's say you're living in Philippines, okay, and you don't have another $2,000 just to buy a new GPU, but you have an old GPU, and we're creating the game which can be run, like say, by the computers which are 7 years old already. So now you don't need a supercomputer for that. And it will give you opportunity to earn already in crypto. So then you believe in crypto, then you become a crypto ambassador yourself, because you tell your friends, "Hey, listen, John, I'm already making like $200 a day, and you making how much a month? Same amount. So you better move on here. Just take your old computer and join me on Ethernal Gladiators, make some money." So that's the goal. That's what we want to do. That's why we build this. And AI, what's an AI part here? So the thing is, we are building a PvP game first because it's faster and you don't need a lot of time. And it will give people already the ability to test it, to play, and to have a conversation with us as developers. We're always open. Like, you can join our Discord. You will see I'm almost always online. My co-founder, Alexis, is a very bright guy in the marketing. He's a fantastic guy. So we're always talking to people. We're always asking what they want. We're making voting. Okay, we have votes on everything basically. Like what we can really change right now, and still, because the smart contracts are still developed, they're not deployed. So we have change. We vote. We have the voting, and people, the community decide. Not we developers. We move on from autocracy of game industry to real democracy, and when people listen, and every gladiator or every owner of Gladiator NFT will have the voting system. You don't have to be a governor. You don't have to be a VC, all right? You have to be just a gamer, and your vote matters, your opinion matters, and we have this installed into smart contracts, so you will have the votes, and when the vote's opening, no one can fake the votes. It's just impossible. You just click, we got the votes. And then we make the decisions, and the community decides, because the players know what they want. They know. It's not the developer who knows. The developer should just take care of those people who play their games. I have to listen to them. And if they want a feature, you better make that feature happen. You just ask them, do they want that feature? Then you tell them, okay, guys, it's not that easy. We might crowdfund for that feature. We don't have the money. We need money. And people will help say, okay, there will be a decision like you have with the board of investors, but you can have those decisions with community instead. You don't have to bring the big money, and then they will tell you how to develop your business, not the community. And then let's say, okay, I'm not going to use the bad word here, but you lose the game.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so you're gonna fuck up your startup, and you will move from startup to fuck up, because you lost what your community wants. You never listened, and you deserve what you get. That's my point. And that's why we make it community oriented. We running giveaways all the time. We vote on how those soul stones, the NFT have soul stones, so Gladiator soul stones. So the name of those stones are decided by community. We will just create a story for it to all match like one setting. So it's not like the pieces and some ugly puzzle there. It's just a story, and it just fits one beautiful story. And then players can build on that and add the piece by piece. They add those story, and AI comes into place because after releasing the PvP, we're gonna move on to PvE game with challenges and dungeons and so on. And the AI part will be playing against you. You will be playing against an AI, and like an evil AI you have to beat with your gladiators and stuff. Yes, so there are two parts in this game. It's very interesting story about an ancient world where you have an Etherlords, an ancient beings, very, very powerful, very angry, and you are the gladiator. They created those soul stones, and they put the souls of the brightest, the mightiest warriors in that souls, and they locked them and they hold it in the temple. And that's how they solve their, the disputes. They ruined their own world, so they had no other living being there. So they decided, okay, they wanted to live forever, and they invented this system, and they when they use those gladiators, and they get power from it. So you as a gladiator can set yourself free, and you can challenge those other lords in order to free yourself and become a living being again. And until then, you are immortal. So even if you lose a fight, you don't die, because your soul gets back into Soulstone. And that's how the game is, the setting is on. Like, you're a thorough gladiator fighting for glory, fighting for money, and for freedom, because you're fighting against the other lords, something evil, something big. But what can be like you as a gladiator, as a community, you can overcome that. And that's a setting, and it's very inspiring. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love how the AI is going to work with making the enemies that you're fighting stronger. So is it like, as they defeat gladiators, they get stronger and they're learning, so they get more powerful over time? So it's just going to be this ongoing battle where they're getting more powerful, but we're also getting more powerful. And so we have to outsmart and outmaneuver this AI. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Because that's exactly what we have now. The AI can learn. It learns from the data, and the more data on the battle it gets. So the thing is, we can train our AI already on the ongoing battles. When the battles are going on in PvP, the AI will learn from them. And then when we introduce it, it's going to be pretty powerful already, because it watched and learned from all of that.
It's going to kick all of our asses. It's
going to be so good. It might be, but the good thing is you have a team of 5 gladiators. Like an Evalk is only one guy, and you have to overcome the lesser beings, his servants, and those are going to be pretty competitive, but the more usual style of AI, like a gaming AI. But then you face the real guy, the guy who watched the fights, and then it's going to be the real challenge. And that's when you get the real rewards. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy.
Wait, what if he gets too powerful? Like, what if they learn how to, like, every time we go to punch, they counter?
Yes. Okay, so there is a possibility to that, so that an AI becomes too powerful. So that's why we're going to use the community will have the vote. You know, the AI can't vote. So that will prove that community can solve it. If you can't fight it on your own, you get back to your community and say, okay, guys, we need something bigger than that. Maybe we need a better weapon. Maybe we need ranged weapons, or maybe we need a combination of this and that. And we come with new mechanics. And he doesn't know new mechanics yet. Okay, we introduce new mechanics. He has to learn them from them first. And he can't learn instantly. He needs a lot of repetitions to do that. So every time we change a strategy, every new approach, the same as we do it in any other competitive sport, we have to change the approaches in order to win, because our competitors, they learn from us, they watch our fights, and they know what they're dealing with. Especially if you play in poker, if you played poker, or I don't know, if you were into boxing, when you fight your opponent, you watch all his fights. Because I've been to boxing, and I know I'm not champion or whatever, or anything like that. But when I was fighting people, I was watching their fights before going into that fight. And okay, he's a left-handed guy, and he strikes from the sides more than from the front, and that's what you do. And the same goes for AI. It does the same. But when you introduce new approach, he can beat you. That's obvious. He will use the same techniques he used, and he will learn, of course. Yes. But it will take time for him. And the good thing about AI, they're very smart, but they need 100 or maybe 1,000 more information inputs than we, like human beings. We're not that fast, but we need less input, way more less. Like
well, for right now.
It is for right now, yes. But we're gonna build on the technology we have right now. It's like we don't have the quantum computers here, so we just have a couple of GPUs. Like, okay, we have some like 3060, 3070s, but then nothing extraordinary here. No, so seriously, guys, to build a competitive AI, you don't need like, I don't know, the quantum computer. You just need 2-3 GPUs, which people usually use for mining, and then that's pretty enough. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I want to be very respectful of your time, so I want to start to wind down here. But I do want to get kind of a sense of what you see as being the future of the metaverse. I mean, clearly, I think you're absolutely setting yourself apart from so many other games by bringing this AI component into it, and I think that's brilliant. Do you see the convergence of AI, crypto, NFTs, like do you just see all of it coming together? And if so, like, what's that going to look like end game?
Okay, so the first thing we did when we started this project back in the summer was my co-founder, and what I told him is like, what we're going to do first, we're going to join Engine Metaverse. That's what we're doing. That's our goal. And why? Because Engine is what's going to replace like Steam. It's going to be new Steam. The new Steam is Engine, because that's what they do. They build an ecosystem, a fantastic one, and I'm going to be like advertising a bit of Engine here, but that's what we decided to go for. It's still in early days. That's true, but it's very promising. It's very promising because the metaverse Engine is building. They already have a bunch of games, very good games, and those games are already exchanging the assets. So you can use that asset from one game to play in another game. That makes your assets way more valuable. And even if some project for some reason, it's life, everything may happen. So some company goes like, pop, off it goes. It's nothing. So in case of World of Warcraft, you're going to be ruined. You're going to be ruined because all your time you spend the 17 years in like my case, it's gone forever.
Unless they bridge it back.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in case of metaverse, no, it's not gone. You can use it in other games. It's still useful. Maybe it loses some utility here. Yeah, you lose some, but not all of it. And you sell. So this is the good start. If you played some game you dedicated and you played lots of time, you invested lots of time there, and then unfortunately the project is closed or it's changing very drastically into something different you don't like. Which won't happen with our game because we have walls in system. But if it happens, the metaverse is there for you because you can switch games, basically go to something similar. And we for example, we have already a couple of projects in mind in Engine ecosystem, which we're gonna build on. I'm not gonna disclose that because it's too early. And the discussion is still like on, but that's what's happening. You're gonna with our NFTs, you will be able to play other Engine games because we are building also cross-chain game. Like that's what we also did. We building it on Binance, and we also building it on Engine. And when you pre-order an NFT, you get two on both networks for one price. Like we're not limiting people. We don't want to limit anyone. So yeah, you don't choose what you want. What you like more. You like Binance. You Binance in. Off you go. Use that Binance. If you were an Engine fan, use an Engine one. And if you, for example, you can keep one and give another one to your friend. That's how we designed it. So like if you are a supporter of the game, then you get two assets, and like you go and earn. We don't mind that. It's play to earn, fight to earn. That's the philosophy of this. And with metaverse, that's all about it. It's building an ecosystem, a live one. Like as I said, the Engine is building something similar to Steam, but everything is interconnected. And that's what that metaverse is about. Plus, they're introducing with new, this is going to be like a parachain, like the Polkadot uses. Okay, so they're switching to that. It's going to be called Affinity. Maybe you heard of it, maybe. So Affinity is a brilliant stuff because the cost of the network, like almost zero. Right now on JumpNet, you can move your assets for free. Like on the Ethereum network, it costs you $50 to move an NFT, and if it's ERC 721, then you're paying a huge amount of money just for moving your assets. If you just want to make a gift, I have to pay the fee, and then I have to pay to the guy who created the NFT. I mean, you're just ripping me off. That I don't like that. And if you, for example, you're from country like, as I said, from I don't know, from some in somewhere in Eastern Europe or in Philippines, and then you have to pay all these huge prices. and you can't afford it. Like, no. And you stock, you have an NFT and you stock, or you have to play, and you have to pay the fee just to take you won a lot of money, but you can cash out. For God's sake, that's not. That's bad. So the engine, they have this in mind. They really care about players. And jump nets right now, you're paying nothing. But okay, the Binance Smart Chain is also good. You pay a lot less, 10 times less. So it's good as well. And many people, the community said, we want Binance. And so, okay, we're giving you Binance. So we ask our customers what they want. Do they want it to? They wanted cross chain. They get cross chain. And if we can migrate them to another chain, we'll do that. So we will ask community. We will migrate. That's our goal. We want it to be a community game, not some limited only to this, only to that. No, if we technically can do that, we're going to ask the community. Okay, guys, we can move to other network. Would you be interested in that? And they would say, okay, no, or yes or no. We have the votes. So that's how the key principle here is community comes first, and games to play and earn. So you have to play first. It has to be. You have to enjoy it. That's the goal. You don't have to play just to earn. I'll be fair here. You don't have to play a shitty game just to earn. That's a bad approach. That's a bad design, and we will never do that. To play,
it's got to be fun first, and then
yes,
the cherry on top is that you get to
yes, because we want to earn part to be big. We won't. But unless it's a good game, we don't want you to play it. Like don't play. Go and play something else. If we, as I said, if we fuck up, just go and play something else. We don't want you to stay with us. Like if we don't deserve you, we shouldn't deserve you. We shouldn't have you. That's and the same should go for other games and for big companies as well. If they can't implement it, like we said the floor now, the small entrepreneurs. But the believers, because we believed in the blockchain, in the AI back then, when it wasn't popular, it was like, it's a nonsense, it's a Ponzi scheme, and okay, you say that, and we will be developing the game while you say that, and that's our mindsets. Like we don't listen to what big money saying, and then they are very interested. We have every day we check their emails, and other VCs asking if we want to do a closed pre-sale. I'm saying no. And I'm saying it's now on the record. We're not selling it to you guys. We're not selling to VCs. Nothing. Like it all goes to community, okay? And then we will ask the community if we want more funding, if we need it. We will then create an asset for the VCs. And if not, if community doesn't want that, then it's not happening.
That's amazing.
That's how we're going to do this. And it's going to work. Because
that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's how it should be. That's what I believe in. And when I believe in something, I do it. Like, and we ask a community, they believe in it as well. So we're building it for them. And I like it. Like, it inspires me. I can work like twice more when I'm inspired. It's a brilliant time to live. And of course, we have them problems with non-gaming related stuff and so on. But life goes on and we have to think about it. Like, what we're going to do next? What's going to be next? What if inflation goes as it goes? What if it doesn't stop? We can't control that. No, but we can control some cryptocurrency here because it's decentralized. It depends on us, on users. So we can use it and we can control. And why not? And the community control the game. That's a brilliant. We're also planning to have later on, speaking of also metaverse, the professions. The professions are going to be professions. They will give a huge discount on the services in the game to the holders of those licenses. And then you can be an armor smith or a weaponsmith. And the guys will come because you have a huge discount on those services. And they pay you a fee. And we will have a renting system like they have in Axie. You can rent people's stuff. And it also works for their services because like it will be internally, it will be like he rents you out his weapon, then you improve it and he gets it back. And he pays a fee, but a lesser fee if you would pay to us as developers. So we're ripping ourselves for the community so they can work there. They can have the real job in the metaverse. Like he's a smith and he gets his, he getting the fees. We will probably have some small percentage of that fee, like 5%, and we will give out a 45, get the 5 for the company, and 40% goes to community. That's the goal with the professions. And then it's other game might want to join this. Like we can offer, like, look, we have these tokens which give the professions. Maybe you want to introduce something like that in your game, and then we can collaborate on that. And your Smith gonna work for our systems, and so on and so on. And we will introduce like the virtual professions in that world. And as I say, if it's you say it's a virtual currency, a virtual world, but you get a real value out of it. Okay, so it's virtual stuff bringing you real value. So is it virtual really then?
Well,
it's not. Yeah.
To me, I don't care if it's virtual or digital or what. If I can use that somewhere, if I can spend it and get something in return, or trade it and get something in return, then it has value. So
it's real then.
It's real.
That's what, yes. And people, what they don't get about crypto, AI, and all this stuff, they say it's something in the cloud, something virtual, something.
So is credit. So is credit. Yeah. Like
exactly.
You swipe a credit card, that's just a plastic representation of very, very, very centralized crypto. Like
very centralized.
It's the same thing.
Oh, it's so insanely centralized.
Right. So like, no, I totally hear you. I love that. I love that. I'm curious about though later on, because it seems like, and I feel like the more intelligent people I talk to, the more we're all kind of in a consensus, even though we haven't all talked about it. But the more fluidly gamers can move between games, meaning they can earn currency in game A, they can invest that in game B, and they can take those rewards and spend them in game C. They can take their items and bring them to any game. They eventually will be able to have one character or however many characters, but that one character can go play in any game that we want. So, and then like we'll have currency exchanges. It'll be really easy. I see a world where we're all able to like put on glasses or something, and we're ported into the other, into the metaverse. Maybe we're chilling in our chair here, but we got this thing on. So we're in it, full immersion. And then between the different verses that everybody's created, which I believe the metaverse is the collection of all the mini verses that everybody's creating. That's like the greater metaverse. I don't know if I'm correct or not. That's just what I think. But I see like a world where, you're in your game and you're fighting this AI guy who's just a total dick and totally kicking your ass. So you're like, all right, I need to go power up. So you hop in a portal, you jump over to a different game, you fight over there and get stronger, and then you come back to your game, and then you fight the boss because you just found a sword 3 metaverses down the road that you can now use to fight this new boss. Like that's what I see way later down the road, is like total fluidity. And I don't know if like game agnostic is the term, but like everything agnostic. Yeah.
Good term. Yeah. I like the vision. The picture is brilliant. And I can say it will be easy to accomplish because the balance, what we have with the games, they have the game designer is responsible for the balance in the game. We have another game, you have another balance. And when you collision of those balances may have a lot of exploits which will pop up in the process. So you have to have this straight from the beginning. You set some general, let's say,
like a standard.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So those standards non-existent as of now. And it has to be like good practices of the metaverse book, a fat one. Really fat, yes.
Or could there be some sort of middle, like a portal, basically, that it's almost like it has its own standards, and then it can basically
rebalance you,
translate. Understand, rebalance, and then
that's easier to do that. So that's probably will be the case. So when you, let's say you're an elven archer in that one game, and then when you come jump to another one, you're not an elven archer anymore. You're stormtrooper with a weapon, and then but you're still a ranged fighter, and your magic bow +7 is now an assault rifle +2 because the balance is different. But you still can. It still corresponds to what you are doing and to experience and your vision of yourself, because you're a ranged combatant and you like that's what you do best. We don't want to force you to do anything else. Or for example, if nothing is available for there is no ranged combatants, then it asks you, would you like to be this or that?
Maybe, that would be cool. Give you some options for how to do that. That could be really cool.
So that's a more flexible approach, and which is easier to implement as a game developer, because the game developing itself is pretty complicated stuff, and you don't want to complicate it even more.
So maybe it could be where, like, let's say you can break a game down into like your base unit. And so, like, let's say your base unit is like, okay, well, I have these points, and those points get awarded to like strength and agility and mana and HP. And so it could almost like distill or at least estimate the amount of points you have, and allow you to then like invest those points into rebuilding that character in the new verse. So as you're moving from one to the other, it's just keeping track of like, okay, well, over there, I just gained +2 of my base. And so now that I'm going back, okay, well, that due to the, the exchange rate, that's actually +0.4 in this one. So then I can gain more HP because I went and fought something over there. That could almost be how to do it.
Yeah, that's actually a very good approach. So you have some formulas in place, which will have rebalance the same as you do, and when you exchange a cryptocurrency and on your favorite exchange, whatever it is. So there is an algorithm for that, and it does their job. So when you can introduce as a developer, as a coder, you can set those algorithms in place, and they will do the job. It's basically a very good design. You offered this is a good credit for you. So you're also a game designer in art.
Well, I have a lot of ideas like this, but truly it is people like you who are really building it, and like you have the chops and the technical know-how to actually create it. Like, I can have as many ideas as I want, but nobody else can see that in my brain unless I speak it, and then they interpret it, but it's not real until it gets built. So
but that's what we offer to a community. We say, yeah, here we are with the guys. We have the technical company here. We have this stuff. We have some some funds already. So we can do this. And you just, as a community, join up and give us an ideas, because sometimes it doesn't mean if you're a developer, you have the brightest ideas already. No, it doesn't. No, it's not that. So there are many people out there who have very great ideas, but they just don't have the resources to implement that. And that's why we listen to community. That's the goal. So we want the brightest ideas to come here and then make this game the best of the best. And that's what community does, because they play this game, they have these bright minds, and they build it. And then they create the celebrities for themselves, and then not something. Because otherwise you will end up having the guy who decides for everyone, and that's not. It doesn't.
Not what we want.
No.
I love that.
It just doesn't work. Like even with the Blizzard as an example, we already did that, so I'm going to continue with that. So, year after year, they like it's not getting better. It's not, because they don't listen. The more famous and rich they become, and then the more deaf they become. That's bad. That's just really bad designing. It doesn't work. They still pretty, let's say, talented to keep it going, but they're not that bright to make it happen as it made it happen. Let's say 12 years ago, they was pretty great. And right now, no, I wouldn't say so. If as I said, if I would be in charge of game design at Blizzard, I would seriously consider NFT gaming. At least I would say, guys, we're considering it. They're not saying that. They're not saying it. They're not even a. Yeah, well, Blizzard, what they do, they always did. They look at the best practices and then they adopt it. So as I said, might take 2 or 3 years for Blizzard to start saying that. They would say like, oh, we've been implementing it for a couple of years now, but we're ready to show you something. That could be their approach. They're pretty sneaky with that. But as I say, let's set the floor. Let's set the floor. And then we set the floor, it will be harder for them to change our minds, because we already seen something good. And they say, no, we don't want that. We want it like it was in the Ethernal Gladiators. It's a small game, but they did very well. And that's what we want to do. That's what the goal we want to accomplish. We're not trying to build the biggest ecosystem there, because we're a small team and we're not stupid. We're trying to build a small game, but which people love, and which allows people to earn, like for real, like if they would be a developers themselves. So like if a developer can earn from the game, why can't the player earn from the game? So this is a goal, and to build a real metaverse together with the Binance smart chain and with ecosystem engine is building, because this December, which is like in 2 weeks, they're gonna Affinity, like we'll have the beta. So Affinity is happening, and we'll launch the game in the March, probably later, but March will be the demo. And because I said we're a smaller game, we have a shorter development cycle, so we don't need years to publish it. We will need half of the, and we're already like we already in alpha stage, and we need another couple of months to launch the beta. So the good thing is, when we release the game, Affinity will be there already, and people can jump in straight away and enjoy it. And like this is gonna be great. And parachains, they also it's an auctions. It's a trade, an auction trade. So you have so many possibilities there, especially for the gamers. Like let's say everyone knows a good old auction house in any game. It can be let's say World of Warcraft, can be something else, that they all have this auction system in place. But can you imagine all of that auction system is running on the blockchain, which is made for the gamers and made with gamers in mind, and all the game assets in a single place. And it's not this open sea or something anymore, which is centralized anyway. It's still centralized, and you have to.
It's a good step. It's a good step.
Yes.
But there's more coming.
Yes, and that's why the parachain and all of that is better, because it's decentralized, and you obviously get more, and there are no fees. And this is better. This is way more better. This is like an open marketplace for everyone and forever, as long as the computers keep running.
And if they don't, we have bigger problems.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Roman, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I mean, it's really been fascinating. You're the first guest that I've had on the show that has combined both the AI and the crypto gaming together. And I mean, really, I had a thought, a couple of days ago about, oh my God, wait, of course AI is going to come into this. Like I got so crystal clear on it. And so, that's one of the reasons I was so excited to talk to you about it. And just and I know it's not basic to build, but the idea of having a boss that can learn from fighting the players so that it can eternally get stronger. That's awesome. Like, yes. That's freaking brilliant. And I feel like we're just starting to get into that, and we're just starting to dip our toes in. And, maybe there's another boss down the road that challenges this main boss. And so then, maybe like the boss and the players have to fight the other one or something. And there's like,
you should definitely join our Discord and make some suggestions.
Oh,
so that people can vote. So that people can vote on that. That's a good idea. I'm telling you. And our community is open for the suggestions. So you just get in, you make a suggestion, and people will vote it up. I'm sure of it. It's a great suggestion you made.
Wonderful. Well, where do we go to join your ecosystem, and how do we get involved?
You can you just go straight to our website, and it's eternalgladiators.com, and you can join a Discord community. You can jump on my company website, which is evalk.com, and there is also join the NFT community, and you can join from there. And we already have almost 9,000 members in 1 week. Like in 1 week, we got 9,000 members, and we're enjoying all of them. They're great guys, and as I say, we run on events all the time. It's a good opportunity to, if you can get NFTs for free. Like we giving away 100 gladiators for the community in different like if you like art, you can make some art, and then we have the art like there's challenges. You can like paint something, and we will reward you an NFT. And if you're good in storytelling, there is a story for the stones, soul stone. There is a storytelling challenge going on. You just go there, you write your own story. People will, it's great, people will upvote it. You get an NFT, and so there's many possibilities for players already to earn. Game is not there already, but you can earn already. That's how we designed it. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. Well, everybody, go check out the Discord. Go join. I'll actually put that link in the description. So wherever you're watching or listening to this, just scroll down or sideways or wherever you need to scroll. You know where the description is on your platform, and I'll put that there. So go check that out. Go join. Go be a part of the community, because there are not, even today, even in this space, there really aren't that many developers who are so community focused. So when you find people like Roman who are, you got to stick to them like glue. So go join, be a part of it. You'll see me there, and we can hang out. And don't challenge me though, because I will whoop some ass. I love you guys as community members and as people listening, but I'm not going to hold back on y'all. So anyways, thank you, Roman. Thank you to everybody watching and listening, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. Take care.
Yeah.